Good morning, family. Welcome back to Poppaprepper. Tommy here. Halfway through a week, I think we're gonna make it again. We're gonna make it to the end of another one. The irony is real because I'm sitting here wearing a hoodie because it's kind of chilly in the house this morning. But I want to talk to you guys, which I've done this before, but I think it's very important. The change in the seasons, we all been out busting our humps in the gardens and what have you. And we've been having some unseasonably hot temperatures already. Okay, guys. And I can't stress the importance enough of just taking it easy, taking your breaks, working, go sit in the shade for a while, sip you some ice cold water, keep plenty of fluids in your body. Okay. Heat stroke is very dangerous. It can hit you out of nowhere before you even know what's going on. So I just wanted to kind of hit on that this morning with you guys. Let me see here. Okay. Heat stroke. Overview. Heat stroke is a condition caused by your body overheating, usually as a result of prolonged exposure to or physical exertion in high temperatures. This most serious form of heat injury, heat stroke, can occur if your body temperature rises to 104 Fahrenheit or degrees Celsius or higher. The condition is most common in the summer months. Heat stroke requires heat stroke requires emergency treatment. Untreated heat stroke can quickly damage your brain, heart, kidneys, and muscles. The damage worsens the longer treatment is delayed, increasing your risk of serious complications or death. And then here are symptoms that you want to look for in yourself, or if you're working with others, kind of keep an eye on everyone. Heat stroke signs and symptoms include high body temperature. A core body temperature of 104 Fahrenheit or 40 degrees Celsius or higher obtained with a rectal thermometer is the main sign of heat stroke. Altered mental state or behavior, confusion, agitation, slurred speech, irritability, delirium, seizures, and coma can all result from heat stroke. Alteration in sweating. In heat stroke brought on by hot weather, your skin will feel hot and dry to the touch. However, in heat stroke brought on by strenuous exercise, your skin may feel dry or slightly moist. Nausea and vomiting. You may feel sick to your stomach or vomit. Flushed skin. Your skin may turn red as your body temperature increases. Rapid breathing. Your breathing may become rapid and shallow. Racing heart rate. Your pulse may significantly increase because heat stress places a tremendous burden on your heart to help cool your body. Headache. Your head may throb. When to see a doctor. If you think a person may be experiencing heat stroke, seek immediate medical help. Call 911 or your local emergency service number. Take immediate action to cool the overheated person while waiting for emergency treatment. Get the person into shade or indoors. Remove excess clothing. Cool the person with whatever means available. Put in a cool tub of water or a cool shower. Spray with a garden hose. Sponge with cool water. Fan while misting with cool water. Or place ice packs or cold, wet towels on the person's head, neck, armpits, and groin. And here's the main causes of heat stroke, which most folks already know this. Exposure to hot environment. In a type of heat stroke called non-exertional classic heat stroke, being in a hot environment leads to rise in core body temperature. This type of heat stroke typically occurs after exposure to hot, humid weather, especially for prolonged periods. It occurs most often in older adults and in people with chronic illness. Then you have the strenuous activity, which affects a majority of us. Exertional heat stroke is caused by an increase in core body temperature brought on by an intense physical activity in hot weather. Anyone exercising or walking in hot weather can get external heat stroke, but it's most likely to occur if you're not used to high temperature. which that's not necessarily the case for us, but, we go hard, we go, full blown, we got to get this done, a lot of times. And we forget about ourselves. We're more concerned about getting things done while we can. And well, it leads to bad things. And either type of heat stroke, your condition can be brought on by wearing excess clothing that prevents sweat from evaporating easily and cooling your body, drinking alcohol, which can affect your body's ability to regulate your temperature, becoming dehydrated by not drinking enough water to replenish fluids lost through sweating. And then here's some risk factors. Anyone can develop a heat stroke, but several factors increase your risk. Your age, of course. I mean, that kind of goes with everything, health-wise. The older you become, the better you got to treat your body. Just obviously, a 20-year-old man is going to handle the heat a lot better than a 65-year-old man. Not saying that 65-year-old man can't work, because I know 65-year-old men that could work me into the ground, work circles around me. But just saying, it does take age takes a toll on all of us. Exertion in hot weather. And that could be, military training and participating in sports such as football or long-distance running events in hot weather are among the situations that can lead to heat stroke. And you guys see it every year in the news. Some high school football players, almost every year you hear of one, passing away from heat stroke or a sudden heart attack, which can be brought on by a heat stroke. And a lot of these kids drink energy drinks, which that's just a whole other video, but that leads to that as well. But anyway, sudden exposure to hot weather, this year here, we experienced a very rapid increase in temperature. Like we went from freezing at night and a high of 45 during the day to 85 and 90 during the day in the matter of like 2 or 3 days. So that really, really increases your chances. A lack of air conditioning. Fans may make you feel better, but during sustained hot weather, air conditioning is the most effective way to cool down and lower humidity. I had a great grandma. She suffered a heat stroke due, I think, mainly in part to not having air conditioning. She lived in a mobile home. Anybody that lives in a mobile home with no air conditioning knows how hot that will get. And she never fully recovered from that. But that happens. I mean, a lot with no air conditioning, especially our elderly folks. Certain medications. You've heard me say this. I can't be out in the sun very long without adequate hydration and shade. And, it makes me very ill. But certain medications affect your body's ability to stay hydrated and respond to heat. But be especially careful in hot weather if you take medications that narrow your blood vessels, regulate your blood pressure by blocking adrenaline, rid your body of sodium and water, or reduce psychiatric symptoms, which I fit 2 of the 4 of them. Nope, 3 of the 4 of them. My bad. Stimulants for attention deficit hyperactivity disorder and illegal stimulants such as amphetamines and cocaine also make you more vulnerable to heat stroke. Certain health conditions, certain chronic illness such as heart or lung disease may increase your risk of heat stroke. So can being obese, being sedentary, and having a history of previous heat stroke. Okay. Obviously, we know if you're big and, you've had heat strokes in the past, you need to be extra careful. Complications, of course, vital organ damage. Without a quick response to lower body temperature, heat stroke can cause your brain or other vital organs to swell, resulting in permanent damage. That's what happened to my granny. They're not sure how long she was in her condition before she was discovered and taken to the hospital by ambulance. death, of course. Without prompt and adequate treatment, heat stroke can be fatal. So here's some preventative measures you can take. Wear loose-fitting, lightweight clothing. Protect against sunburn. Drink plenty of fluids. Take extra precautions with certain medications. Never leave alone in a parked car. Which that just goes without saying. You're a complete moron if you leave your child in a car. I mean, I know it, okay, sometimes it has happened. I don't understand how it happens, but it does happen, you know, accidentally sometimes. But more often than not, you know, you just think, or people have just thought they're going to run into the store, get and grab what they need. And, well, it don't take no time for a child. You know, that absolutely do not do that. Or elderly folks. I've seen that too. Or people with mental disabilities, just because you don't want to take them in the store, they'll leave them in the car to run in the store, what they think is real quick. Well, that's plenty long enough for somebody to have a heat stroke. Take it easy during the hottest parts of the day. That's kind of what I try to do. I get up in the morning, do, you know, more extensive labor, if you will, whatever it is that I got to get done. Then I'll kind of take it easy throughout the day, like doing stuff I can do in the shade, or, you know, just go do something else, you know, for the day, and come back and get back to it in the evening when the sun goes down. Get acclimated, which, you know, that's from spring to summer, you know, just increase your time that you're out in the heat day by day or every couple days. You know, just kind of gradually regulate your body to being out in the heat. And if you have any increased risks, you know, if you have heart conditions or, you know, things like that, just be careful, you know. A lot of it's really just common sense, you know, just take care of yourself and, you know, monitor what you do. You know your limits. So really, it just comes down to taking care of yourself, being aware of yourself and everybody else around you. Now, another thing here, let me get this brought up. Let's see here. Okay, heat exhaustion, which is kind of like you're almost to the heat stroke level, but, you know, this is where you can still, you know, if you pay attention to your body or the people you're working with, pay attention to them, you can tell that they just need to settle down, chill out, go sit down for a while, maybe take the rest of the day off. You know, heat exhaustion is a real thing. It's a killer, can be, because it leads to heat stroke. But heat exhaustion, let me get to this overview here. A condition characterized by dehydration caused by exposure to high temperatures. Rare, fewer than 200,000 cases per year in U.S. And the only reason I think it's rare is because people don't pay attention to it, and it leads ultimately to a heat stroke, which is a lot more common than heat exhaustion. It can last several hours, common for ages 5 and younger. I mean, that, I guess it depends on what you're doing. But here are some symptoms: clammy skin, dizziness, headache, muscle cramps, extreme thirst, excessive sweating, dehydration, fainting, nausea, vomiting, weakness, decreased urine output. So you see a lot of these are the exact same as the heat stroke, because heat exhaustion will quickly lead to a heat stroke. Heat exhaustion is caused by exposure to high temperatures. Salt depletion is caused by not just replenishing water loss, but also failing to restore salt loss in the body. And we all know salt is very important to the body. You have to have salt and water, which is a very fragile balance. Anybody knows, you know, that has to watch their sodium intake and everything. It's a very, very balanced ordeal, but you have to have both. Water depletion is caused by taking insufficient fluids during heat exposure. It can also be caused by failure of the body to cool itself. Like, if you wear big sun hats and everything, it's always best to wear ventilated hats, so let the air into your head, because that's where most of the heat escapes your body, is through your head. Alcohol intake. Now, I know a lot of us, including myself, a day working outside all day in the hot heat, mowing the yard, tilling the garden, sawing up wood, whatever. A good cold, ice cold beer tastes real good. But, if you're doing that throughout the day, just be careful, because that will dehydrate you very fast. Because there's a lot of salt and stuff in beer that will just suck the hydration right out of you. Strenuous physical exercise. That kind of goes without saying. Be careful. Risk factors include aged children less than 5 years and the elderly. Obesity. Obesity leads to everything. Just throwing that out there. Trust me. It's hard on you guys. Drugs and diuretics, because diuretics, of course, flush a lot of the water out of your system, just to keep the water weight gain off of you. Well, if you're outside sweating all day, you're not going to need that diuretic to get rid of that water. So really be careful with that. If you take diet pills and stuff like that, or you drink a lot of coffee, tea, if you're going to be out all day, lay off that stuff. Don't take your diet pills. Maybe just cut your coffee in half before you go outside and start working. Replace your tea with just water, stuff like that. Just make sure you're drinking plenty of water. High heat index, kind of common sense. Wearing dark clothes, wearing sports gear such as padded or insulated clothing, helmets, and pads in hot weather. And again, like I said, almost every year you hear about high school boys passing away on the field, either during the game or during practice. It is heartbreaking, but a lot of that also leads to, like, the which, you can call it drugs, diuretics, whatever, the Monster energy drinks, Bang, whatever, Nitro, stuff like that. These kids drink them like and I'll drink a Monster, the sugar-free, carb-free, has absolutely nothing in it but caffeine. I'll drink one of them, usually every other day, something like that. But these kids, their bodies, nobody's bodies are built for it. So let me clarify that. But they're too young to be drinking these things like water. They'll drink 3 or 4 of them a day. And it's, and then they go out in this hot sports gear and their body just can't handle it. Prevention. Loosen clothes or wear loose fitting clothes. Drink plenty of fluids. Stay hydrated. While doing a strenuous exercise, stop and rest. Use sunscreen, SPF greater than 15. Do not leave children in closed spaces, a car when it's hot. That's common sense. Stay indoors and move to air-conditioned spaces in case of extreme heat. Complication. Sudden heat stroke may lead to brain damage and eventually death. And we've already covered that. So again, a lot of it just comes down to using your common sense, Can't stress that enough. A lot of this is just common sense. Everybody knows their body. They know what their body can and cannot do. A lot of folks don't take this into consideration. 6 signs of a heat stroke in dogs. Okay. Your pets are just like our children, and they should be treated as such. Okay. 6 signs of a heat stroke in dogs: rapid panting, weakness, bright red tongue, diarrhea, vomiting, thick, sticky saliva. And don't leave your pets in a hot car unless you can lock it while it's running while you go in the store. I do that. Air conditioning cranked as high as it'll go, in the shade if I can find a spot, but never will I leave a dog in the car, even with the windows cracked, if it's hot. And even a 75-degree day, sunny, the inside of your car can reach 95 to 100 degrees. If that's unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable to leave any living creature in a car on a hot day. What to do if you notice your pet, showing these signs. Move dog into a cool area. Apply cool water all over the body. Apply cool towels to head, neck, and chest. Give small drinks of cool water. Take your dog to the vet ASAP. A lot of folks don't realize, our pets are just basically run the same way we do. Okay, their bodies, they're animals, so are we. So we need to treat them with as much care and respect as we treat ourselves. And like I said, it's absolutely unacceptable to leave any kind of living creature in a car when it's hot. Even with the windows down, it gets very hot in any park. Anyway, guys, I know I've hit on this stuff before, but to me, it's very important, especially this time of year when there's so much to be done outside, and we all get out there every day. And, our mindset gets to where getting stuff done becomes more important than taking care of ourselves, and that shouldn't be the case, because if we're not around, who's going to do it then? Too many people depend on us every day. So you guys take care of yourselves. Can't express that enough. Every year, it seems like it gets a little hotter and a little hotter. So I hear my alarm going off on my phone in the other room, which means it is time for me to get ready for work. So until next time, guys, God bless y'all. I love each and every one of you. Stay safe and take care of yourself. Poppa Prepper out.